In his lecture series, Society Must Be Defended, Michel Foucault argued that at the end of the 18th century, European society changed its main method of control, from sovereignty to biopower. Sovereignty was based on the power of death, manifested by the state's ability to take away things: money, organs, lives. Biopower, in contrast, controls by organizing life, gathering statistics on birth, death, diet, and hygiene, planning the public space, optimizing. This method of control, which perseveres to this day, suggests to us several ways of living, which are convenient for the current array of power. Those of us who do not challenge this choice and are not othered by society for any other reason are privileged to be, quote-unquote, regular people. One can live like that and almost never feel that they are being governed, like riding a train without considering the tracks. COVID pushed the train off the tracks, forcing everyone to drastically change their way of life, and exposing the tracks for what they were. But what failed to arrive is a new set of behaviors which will realign us with the desires of power. Where is the new normal? Why are we still living an uncanny life? One reason has to do with neoliberalism, specifically the idea, common since the era of Reagan and Thatcher, that society is best organized by markets, and government's role is only to make sure that everyone plays by the rules. Culturally, neoliberalism comes with a certain self-perception. We are, as Thatcher argued, individuals or families. We work to make money, we spend it on what we need, and we stay out of the affairs of others. If our income is higher than our expenditure, we should never want for anything. Those are the train tracks, and that's the idea of a smooth ride. Crises, such as COVID or any recession, disturb this way of life. We try to do what we've normally done, but suddenly there are no jobs, or the jobs don't provide enough income, or things are too expensive, or the markets are empty. But an epidemic is unique in that it is resistant to individual actions. Israelis found this out after our first quarantine. Individuals quarantined themselves, and the epidemic was scaled back to incredibly low numbers. But when the quarantine was lifted, what we needed was coordinated action to reopen safely. In this, our government failed spectacularly, and the epidemic soon raged at pre-quarantine numbers. Under the neoliberal politics we've grown accustomed to, such a crisis, one that requires governmental coordination, simply shouldn't exist. That is why the political element of COVID is uncanny, because it was not supposed to exist. A great many people have entrenched in them the belief that politics does not apply to them. They were riding on an invisible train and could not see the tracks. Suddenly the big beast that is controlling, enabling, exploiting, and aiding their lives is painfully obvious. Can we expect the uncanny presence of politics to disappear after enough shots have been put in arms? There are several reasons to think not. First, COVID is inseparable from the growing ecological crisis. With urban sprawl meeting shrinking natural habitats, we are due for more zoonotic viruses in the future. As Naomi Klein argues in This Changes Everything, climate change, like COVID, is felt more by oppressed populations and cannot be resolved by free markets. Second, a boom-bust cycle is inherent to capitalism. Like the dot-com bubble and the subprime crisis, we can expect to have our lives shaken every decade or so. And be sure that in the next crisis, the political tendencies developed during COVID will be felt. But perhaps more important is the fact that our desire to go back to normal is a conservative impulse that stands in the way of imagining new realities. As Octavia Butler wrote, the only lasting truth is change. There will never be a quiet time when we can go back to how we were. So our response to the uncanny cannot be rejection. We cannot wait for it to disappear. We can't get back home by ignoring the road we've already taken. We can only get home by continuously making the road our home. It is a process without an instruction set, a response to a train going off the rails. We cannot stop it, but we can harness the power that drives it and try to take it somewhere better than it is heading right now.